You've been in law enforcement for a long time, much of your career. Have you seen any evidence of criminality from the former president?
Well, that's a big arena whenever you're looking at his financial issues in New York, the investigation in Georgia by the state district attorney, the January 6th investigation, the special counsel that's looking at the handling of national security documents. And so I cannot pronounce judgments on each one of those. Those are very fact-specific. They're complicated legal issues. And so we've got to let those play out. But just my recitation of the legal challenges and what he's facing paints the picture that he has created a lot of disarray around him. There's a lot of investigations that are going on. We just have to let those play out. From my standpoint, too, while we have equal justice, at the same time, when Merrick Garland approves a search warrant for Mar-a-Lago, he has to be extra careful. I mean, it's a former president. It's going to get more scrutiny. This has never been done before. And so, you want to make sure that it's handled right. And in hindsight, now that we see Joe Biden had his own document issue, and we've seen Vice President Pence, who I have the highest regard for and his integrity, we had classified documents that appears at his residence. And so you look at this and you say, what is the national interest? It's to protect those documents, it's to bring them back, to make sure our secrets are not disclosed to those that have no business knowing them. That's our national interest. Beyond that, let's improve our process as to what happens to these documents and move on. And I think that's probably where our special counsels will wind up.
Back in 98, 99, there seemed to be a backlash against the Clinton impeachment among voters. Do you sense there would be a similar political backlash if Trump were indicted at a state level, at the federal level, if there was any sort of law enforcement action against him as a result of all this?
Well, there'll be a couple reactions. One of them will be his ardent supporters who will say he's a victim. And it'll be, once again, an example of everybody trying to defeat him at the polls by weaponizing the Department of Justice. So you've got, that, and that plays into his arguments to a certain extent. And then you've got, the question as to whether anybody could ever be convicted in a court in a fair trial. And so it's very painful for the whole country if we go through that as a former president. And so I think there's a lot of practical reasons that the Justice Department, needs to take extra lengths to make sure they appear to be fair in how they're handling all these matters.